Ready for a completely different Disney vacation? Then hop aboard the SS Disney Food Blog so we can show you all the amazing things hiding out across the Disney Cruise Line. Hey everybody, it's AJ for Disney Food Blog. Boy, I have missed talking about DCL big time. So much so, in fact, that I'm going to talk to you today about a ton of my all-time favorite things to see and do while sailing aboard one of Disney's mega ships. Many of which you may have never heard of before, or maybe you have and you just needed the healthy reminder. Reminders are good too. So what are you waiting for? It's time to set sail. First up, something that people don't realize are on DCL: bathtubs and split bathrooms. There are lots of things you can take for granted when sailing with Disney Cruise Line or other cruises that have adopted some similar policies, but one of the things you shouldn't take for granted, especially if you're traveling with really small kids, is the fact that Disney Cruise Line staterooms have bath-and-a-half setups, so families with children have the ability to take a bath. Most staterooms will have a split bathroom where one room contains a bathtub and shower combination with a sink, and the other room has a toilet and a sink. The exception to this layout is if you choose an accessible stateroom instead. Then you're just going to have that one large bathroom, which will give you space to maneuver wheelchairs or provide support to a family member. Now, this is a big plus in Disney's favor. Many cruise ships don't have free room service, but Disney does, and they have it 24/7. That being said, there are a few things you need to know about this room service before you order whatever you want for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. First, remember that menu items can vary for your specific cruise. So if you cruise on the Disney Magic and then you cruise later on the Wish, they could have different room service menus between the two of them. Not very different, they tend to be very similar, but if a lot of time has passed since your last cruise, they could be sourcing things differently or getting things from different countries. Second, don't forget about gratuity. Have a stash of singles at the ready for room service, as gratuities are welcome for your room service delivery. And speaking of room service, one thing that all the ships do have in common is that you can order Mickey bars whenever you want them. Now, Mickey bars are not directly listed on the room service menu, but you can still request them when you call to order. So order as many Mickey bars as you want for the whole fam, even if it's 2 o'clock in the morning. They are still part of the all-inclusive deal. Disney cruises often premiere their new movies at sea on the same day the movies debut in theaters on land. Kind of feels like cheating, but you definitely already paid for that movie ticket and then some with your stateroom costs, so take advantage. Be sure to check the schedule for the ship theater or theaters once you're on board to see what's playing during your cruise. What's great is that they play these movies like all day long and into the night, so it's very possible to see a movie on the day it opens being the only person in the theater. So this one's a gamble, but it's a gamble worth talking about. When you're at one of the Disney Cruise Line bars, ask about the sommelier bin. The sommelier bin is designated for open bottles of wine. If a guest orders a particular type of wine that hasn't been opened yet, then the rest of that bottle will need to be used on the same day to guarantee its freshness. And that means you can sometimes get a really pricey glass of wine for a base price if you order whatever's in the sommelier bin during the time of your visit. Your mileage on this may vary because sometimes you'll just end up with a standard wine you could have gotten elsewhere, but still, you get wine either way and for a potentially cheaper price. Again, this isn't a guarantee, but it doesn't hurt to check. You might have already bought magnetic decor to spruce up your stateroom door, like Cassie did to our stateroom during our last visit on the Disney Dream. Cassie, you made it look so cute. But did you know your stateroom walls might also be magnetic? This can be a really nifty feature if you're looking for a way to hang up your wet clothes or your bathroom organizers, since Disney Cruise Line does not allow these over-the-door hangers aboard the ship. Those hangers, according to Disney, threatened to scratch the door paint and damage the door itself, and yes, they did take them away from me. That being said, not every stateroom will have those magnetic properties. The Disney Magic and Wonder don't have magnetic walls, but the other cruise ships, the Dream, the Fantasy, the Wish, and probably the Treasure, do. So if you find yourself in a room with no magnetic walls, you can always turn toward the next best thing, your stateroom clothesline. Disney Cruise Line staterooms were designed with 2 retractable clotheslines above the shower and tub. There are also pegs and towel bars that can be used to hang items to dry as well. If you've got a lot of wet or dirty clothes that you want to get washed and dried, every Disney cruise ship also has 24-hour self-serve laundry facilities that you can use. To operate the washers, dryers, or to purchase detergent and dryer sheets if you didn't pack your own, just use your Key to the World card to pay. The washer and dryer cost $3 each to use, so $6 total for one complete washer-dryer cycle. The laundry rooms are also where you're going to find the ironing equipment if you've got some wrinkles you need to get out of your tropical button-up. Irons are not available in the staterooms for safety reasons, but if you want to use the ones in the laundry room, they're totally free and no Key to the World charge necessary. What better way to signal sail away time than by listening to a really loud horn blast when you wish upon a star for all the fish in the ocean to hear. Disney Cruise Line has multiple air horns, each programmed to a specific musical note so that a group of those notes can form part of a song. A control panel on the ship allows the captain and crew to choose which series of notes to play. While every Disney cruise ship can play Wish Upon a Star, other ships can also play a series of notes from other Disney songs, so you never know what you might hear next. You know what makes the horns even better? If you're in port with another Disney cruise ship, they'll have musical horn battles. Will your ears be ringing after? Probably, but still, we have fun here. And so do the Disney Cruise crew members. If you're traveling with a larger group of folks, you don't have to splurge and get the biggest room aboard the ship to fit everyone. All you have to do is book those connecting staterooms, which will not only have a door that opens up into both rooms, but will also have a veranda panel that you can push open to connect your balconies together, transforming 2 small balconies into one big one. When you're booking these rooms online, adjoining rooms will be indicated by a broken line on their shared wall. If you're the one in charge of booking both of these connecting rooms and you're worried about forgetting which room you booked first when you go to make the second selection, don't be, because when you go to book your second stateroom, a little reminder will pop up toward the top of the page to remind you where your first one is. A regular stateroom aboard any of the Disney cruises is going to be pretty snug, meaning storage can get snug too. That's why it's a good thing each of these rooms has huge under the bed storage where you can stow away your suitcases. According to Disney, stateroom beds are elevated about 12 inches off the ground, giving you plenty of room, hopefully, to tuck away your odds and ends. Towel animals are totally DCL's shtick. You leave your room, you go out and play for the day, and when you return, you'll not only have fresh sheets and emptied trash cans, but you'll also have little towel animal friends ready to welcome you home. These towel animals are made by the awesome Disney crew members, and we love them so much. We don't want to undo the towels to use them, because that feels barbaric. The funny thing is, though, Disney Cruise Line knows how much we love these towel animals and wish we could take them home with us, which is why they came up with a line of towel animal plushies to add to their merchandise collection. Now you really can bring a Disney Cruise Line towel animal home with you. And depending on the cruise and cruise activities, you might also get the opportunity to take a towel animal folding class so you can make your own creatures back home with your own towels. I'm sure your spouse or partner is going to be thrilled. Check the Disney Cruise Line Navigator app on embarkation day to see what complimentary classes and activities will be available during your time on board the ship. And if you find a towel animal class, bookmark it. Just fair warning, these classes go fast, so brace yourself and try to keep up. So how do you go about bookmarking an activity you want to try so you don't forget about it in the literal sea of other things going on around you? Well, at the start of your cruise, sift through your Navigator app schedule and tap on the heart next to the ones you want to prioritize. Then when it's getting closer to that activity's time, you'll be alerted through your phone's push notifications before the event takes place. This way, no matter where you are on the ship, you'll have plenty of time to make your way over to said activity's location and take part in all the fun. The pricey Disney Cruise Line Wi-Fi hasn't always been the greatest. I can definitely remember when the Dream first set sail, kind of sitting on the stairs in the middle of the ship, just desperately trying to get a signal because I was trying to blog and upload from the middle of the sea and it just was not working. But that Wi-Fi gets better and better every time I sail. Internet packages are available for purchase through the Disney Cruise Line Navigator app once you're on board the ship. And basically, it's through the Cruise Line app, but it'll take you to an external website to purchase the package and to log in. Now, you'll have 3 different internet options to choose from, and each one varies in price depending on what you choose and when you cruise. The best and priciest internet option will be the Premium Surf, which includes access to select social media sites plus video calling and music streaming. Pricing starts at $34 a day when purchased for the entirety of your voyage, but again, prices are subject to change at any time. It's come a long way since 2012, and now I can even upload voiceovers when I'm out at sea, which is shocking. Free Disney Cruise Line tours? Count me in. I love a tour. According to the Disney website, there are usually 2 tours available on board each Disney ship. The first is a general walking tour available to all ages, and the other one is for those 18 years and older called Art of the Theme Show. The second tour is going to give you a much closer look at the details and designs of the ship you're about to cruise on through the eyes of an Imagineer. Again, both of these cruises are free and don't require you to make any advance reservations for them ahead of time, but they're usually only available on embarkation day. So check your Navigator app as soon as you're able to see your cruise's schedule to figure out the start location for these tours. You can also ask a crew member to point you in the right direction too. Now hold on a minute. Didn't your veranda stateroom say it could sleep more people than this? Where is that 5th magic sleeper hiding? If you want to find it, just look up. The upper pull-down twin-size bed can hold guests who weigh up to 220 pounds. Every evening, your stateroom host will pull the bed down and attach the ladder for you, and every morning they'll tuck it back in the ceiling again, unless you request for it to be kept down, because we all love a nap. Want to add another Disney touch to your kiddo's stateroom bed? Just ask. Lots of times crew members can put character-themed sheets on your kid's bed when they come to clean your room during the day. During one of our family cruises on board the Wish last year, my son got pretty sick and had to stay in the stateroom most of the trip, poor little guy. But to help cheer him up, our stateroom host put Marvel sheets on his bed just for a little extra magic during a miserable time. You can also make other room requests for your stateroom too, for things like diaper genies, pack and plays, bed rails, etc. Now, those are always going to be first come, first served, and they don't have enough for everybody, so definitely request them early. Just sign into your Disney Cruise account online or on the app, select My Reservations, go to the Cruise Details tab, and head to the Special Requests section to make your wishes known beforehand. There are two types of folks at the end of a Disney cruise. The first type wants to stay as long as possible on board before they have to get off, meaning squeezing in one last all-inclusive breakfast before stepping onto dry land again. And the second type wants to get off the ship ASAP because they've got a flight to catch or more vacation activities ahead of them that they're ready to get on with immediately. If the latter option is going to end up being the case for you, then you'll need to know about Disney Cruise Line's Express WalkOff. Express WalkOff gives guests the chance to jump ship, not in the walk the plank sort of way, but the less dangerous way, as early as 7 a.m. You'll just have to make sure your stuff is all packed and ready to take off the ship with you, since you won't have luggage assistance from the crew during the Express Walk-Off option like you would during the regular debarkation process. So what that means is the night before, when everybody tells you to make sure that your luggage is outside your room by 8 p.m. so that your steward can pick it up, just keep your luggage with you, and then when you leave the next morning, you just take it with you and walk off the ship with it. Now, if you do the Express Walk-Off option, you also won't be able to get one last breakfast, which might be a deal breaker for passengers and hobbits alike. Just listen for those clear to disembark announcements that sound across the ship so you'll know when you can start making your quick getaway. There'll still be a little bit of a line, but it's not going to be nearly as bad as if you waited to debark with everybody else. If you scrape your knee real bad, or you're dealing with lots of seasickness, or in general you're just feeling kind of under the weather, each Disney cruise ship does have a health center you can use located on deck 1 forward. Each of these health centers is stocked with over-the-counter meds, bandages, and other non-emergency remedies, but if you're in need of some quick relief after clinic hours, you can still purchase first aid and over-the-counter drugs at the guest services desk on deck 3 midship, as well as at select onboard shops, as long as you're not docked, that is, because gift shops are only open when you're out at sea. If you're dealing with a medical emergency, however, make sure to call 7-3000 from any ship phone. Emergency doctors and nurses are on call 24/7 for immediate assistance. Disney Cruise Line's first ever water coaster, the Aqua Mouse, made its grand debut when it opened along with the Disney Wish. This family-friendly ride is a water slide / roller coaster combo that takes you on a tubular adventure alongside Mickey and Minnie. If you've ever ridden Crush and Gusher over there at Typhoon Lagoon, it's that sort of vibe. But here's the really cool thing about this ride. There are actually currently 2 storylines you could potentially get depending on when you ride. One storyline is Scuba Scramble, which takes you on a subaquatic adventure to Mermaid Lagoon, where you'll see lots of sea creatures. And the second is Swiss Meltdown, which takes you on a mountain sledding adventure that goes hilariously awry. However, once the Disney Treasure takes its inaugural cruise this December, which means there'll be 2 Aqua Mouse water coasters in existence, there will be a brand new storyline introduced to the 6th ship called The Curse of the Golden Egg. While Disney hasn't yet shared specific details regarding the storyline, we do know that at first it will only be featured on the Treasure, but eventually all 3 storylines will be available on both ships. By the way, if you want to learn more about each individual Disney cruise ship and where they travel, what you need to pack to prepare for them, what your planning timelines should look like, and more, be sure to scan the QR code you see on the screen right now or head to disneyfoodblog.com/cruise planning after this so we can send you a free ultimate guide to the Disney Cruise Line straight to your inbox. You won't go very long without hearing live music on the Disney cruises, and we're totally okay with that. Between the live atrium music, the piano bars, the karaoke sessions, and the Broadway-style musicals, you'll have plenty of chances to hear music being played pretty much all times of the day. But check your Navigator app if you're looking for those specific performances, just so you don't miss out. Rotational dining might put you in a new restaurant each night, but you have the same server following you between meals. The reason Disney keeps you with the same server and servers each night instead of pairing you up with a different person meal after meal is so that your server can learn about your specific preferences and food accommodations, which they'll then use for all your future dinners aboard the ship. Plus, it's just really nice to get to know your server too. These cast members are great at what they do, and they do an amazing job at making sure you're having a good time while also validating your dining requests. Free celebration buttons aren't exclusive to the Disney parks. You can get them aboard the Disney cruises too. Just stop by guest services once you're on board to pick one up, and then you can sport it all cruise long. Can't bear to part with your gym routine? Every Disney cruise has a fitness center you can use for free, and each is equipped with weight machines, treadmills, ellipticals, and other state-of-the-art exercise stuff that'll keep your fitness goals on track. During your time on board, you might also find free exercise classes that you can take at these centers, including yoga, Pilates, and stretching classes, as well as personal training too. Again, make sure to check your cruise's schedule on your Navigator app so you can see what's available during your trip. Want a Broadway-like show minus the New York City traffic? The Disney cruises have got you covered. Typically, there are 2 different showings of each Broadway-style musical or variety show per day. However, for those brand new and very popular musicals, there might also be an additional showing earlier in the day, just to make sure everyone who wants to see it gets a chance to. Now, even though the shows are scheduled to work around your rotational dinner, there are no rules for when you can and cannot see a musical. So if you decide to skip your rotational meal one evening to eat at one of the quick service options instead, or because you plan on ordering room service later on, you're more than welcome to check out whatever musical's going on whenever it's happening. Or you can go to both. You can go to the musical twice in one night if you want to. When you access your cruise's itinerary via the Navigator app, you're going to see a ton of different activities for you to check out all trip long. There are sketch classes and trivia games and scavenger hunts and name that tune sessions, you name it. And most of these activities will be open for all guests. But if you're wanting to do any of these activities with an adults-only group for your adults-only trip, you can look for the ones listed on the Navigator app that are available for those 18 and over. And for parents, keep in mind that Disney is strict about these 18 and over activities, so avoid attempting to bring your littles to these sessions if you don't want them getting kicked out of the fun. I promise you there are very similar activities made just for them that they'll like even more. The rotational dining restaurants tend to get a lot of the attention in the Disney Cruise Line scene, but don't be sleeping on those highly immersive lounges. Unless otherwise stated, Disney Cruise Line's lounges tend to be a place for family fun during the day, but become a 21 and over location once the evening rolls around. So what are some of the most immersive and highly themed lounges on the Disney Cruise Line? The Cadillac Lounge aboard the Disney Wonder has the vibes of swanky 1950s cars with chrome accents and vinyl-covered bar stools. This spot features a live piano performer and guest vocalists each evening. The Skyline Lounge on the Disney Dream and Disney Fantasy is strictly adults only and has large windows that show skylines from various cities around the world. The view will change during your visit each day, so it's kind of like you're sightseeing at super speed. Also on the Disney Fantasy, you're going to find another adults-only lounge called La Piazza, which is solely inspired by Italian cities and plazas. And then, of course, there's the Hyperspace Lounge over on the Disney Wish, which is a virtually enhanced space that'll transport you through hyperspace to iconic Star Wars locales like Tatooine, Batuu, and more. Once the Disney Treasure starts sailing at the end of this year, we'll have even more immersive lounges to get acquainted with, since these new lounges will be themed around classic Disney attractions like the Jungle Cruise, Haunted Mansion, and 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. Character meet and greets will happen several times during your trip, all throughout the day. This will give you the chance to meet Mickey and Minnie, Donald, Goofy, Pluto, and a whole lot of other classic characters that are eager to set sail with you. But if you want to take part in a really awesome character meet and greet experience where you can meet a bunch of Disney princesses all in one go down in the atrium, then you'll need to make reservations for the Royal Gathering via your Navigator app or the Disney Cruise Line website. The Royal Gathering is free for guests to experience, and it typically happens multiple times during your cruise, depending on the cruise's length. But because of its popularity, you do need to sign up for it. So don't forget to do just that if this is going to be a must for your cruising fan. There's tons to do on Disney's private island, Castaway Key. You can go snorkeling, you can lounge out on one of the white sandy beaches, you can get your absolute fill of soft serve if you haven't already done so aboard the ship, and you can also take part in an unofficial Castaway Key 5K. The Castaway Key 5K is a free race for guests ages 10 and older that takes place around the island, and if you complete all the 5K, you receive a medal for a job well done. Every now and then, the island might run out of medals though, so if that's the case for you, check in with guest services when you you get back on the ship to see if they have any left to give. The 5K starting line is over at the bike rental area, so go find your mark, get set, and go. Now, maybe this is just a me thing, but I find it super amazing that one moment you can have this super big pool out on the top deck of your cruise ship, and the next moment the pool is gone, totally disappears on you to become a dance floor for a much anticipated deck party. Deck parties will vary from ship to ship, but here are a few that you very well could become a part of during your next big cruise. There's the sail away parties, which happen on embarkation day, right before your ship takes off across the seas for the first time. There's the Pirates Rock and Parlay party, which happens on Pirate Night. There's the seasonal deck parties, like you'll find during Halloween, Christmas, and New Year's. And then there's the exclusive themed parties that happen during those limited time events on select cruise ships, like what you'll find during Marvel Day at Sea aboard the Magic, Pixar Pals party aboard the Wonder, and the Frozen deck party aboard the Magic and Wonder. You don't have to wait for breakfast, lunch, or dinner to get those unlimited soda refills, y'all. You can get them all day long. This is something that's different from a lot of other cruise lines. Disney Cruise Line is going to give you free soda as much as you want. Just head upstairs up to deck 11 of whatever ship you're on. This will be near the quick service options and pools, and you'll find those self-serve refillable beverage stations waiting for you to use. If you don't get a room with an ocean view on your Disney Dream or Disney Fantasy cruise, you've still got quite the magical experience in store for you waiting right outside your, quote, window. The inside staterooms on these two cruise ships have these magical portholes that'll show you a virtual look across the ocean blue in real time. But that's not all. Every now and then, a Disney friend will pop up to wave hello or fly on by, so you never know who you might see. Welcome to the Cove Cafe, a sophisticated little pit stop inside each of the Disney cruise ships that serves cocktails and coffee and tea throughout the day. If you get a latte here, though, it's not going to be your run-of-the-mill latte. The baristas can actually Disney-fy it for you to give you a character on top of the foam. Character coffees can also be purchased at other specialty coffee spots specific to the ships, like the Vista Cafe on the Disney Dream and Fantasy, and the Wishing Star Cafe on the Wish. There's also specialty coffee options that'll be tucked away in a little area of whatever your ship's casual buffet dining option is. So either Cabanas, or if you're on the Disney Wish, Marceline Market. Just keep in mind that specialty coffees do cost money at these locations. However, free black coffee, where you can add your own cream and sugar, will still be available next to the casual dining soda stations and during your rotational dinner. If you'd rather save a few bucks on a cup of joe, that's the way to do it. It's time for your kid to transform into royalty with the assistance of their own fairy godmother at Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique. This is already pretty commonly known inside the Disney parks, but you can also purchase this experience for your child when you're crossing the 7 seas. Each Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique package includes hairstyling, costumes, makeup, and an all-around magical time as they transform into one of their favorite Disney characters. Kids can choose from a variety of makeovers, including the DCL exclusive swashbuckling pirate look, just in time for Pirate Night. You can book this experience via the Disney Cruise website or the Navigator app once your activities reservation window opens up. It might be pricey and so not part of the all-inclusive meals aboard your ship, but if you want to take part in an exclusive cruise line experience that A, gives you the chance to meet a lot of characters, and B, your kids are going to remember for a lifetime, hopefully, then the Royal Court Royal Tea might be worth the splurge. This is a special dining experience that requires advanced reservations. Kids ages 3 to 12 can have a tea party with Disney princesses, which includes entertainment, a selection of herbal teas, and a 2-course meal. The meal includes 1 sweet and 1 savory course. The experience is available on all the Disney cruise ships aside from the Disney Wish and costs $220 for children. I know, wow, and $69 for the adults who accompany them. Meanwhile, on the Disney Wish, you can do a similar premium experience, but instead of a royal tea party with the princesses, you get to have a picnic with the summer-loving snowman Olaf during Olaf's royal picnic. No matter which premium experience you book, tea party or picnic, all the kids in attendance will receive an assortment of goodies as a keepsake. These can include hats or costume pieces, cinch bags, plushies, water bottles, blankets, activity books, and more. I still find it a bit odd that I can get unlimited all-inclusive ice cream and full-on pizza slices anytime I want to, yet I still have to pay for popcorn on the Disney ships. I don't know, kind of weird. Guess it just makes Disney a little extra dough in the end. Popcorn is sold at the little concession stands right outside the Walt Disney Theater, so you can grab some before you go in to watch your live entertainment for the evening. However, if you plan on purchasing popcorn daily, you may want to consider purchasing a refillable popcorn bucket. Roughly, a regular bag of popcorn is going to cost you around $4 to $5. $35. But if you purchase a Disney Cruise Line refillable popcorn bucket, which is going to be about $10 for a normal bucket and $20-ish for a specialty one, by the way, most of these are the same as they are in the parks, you can get all your popcorn refills for around $1.50 to help save you some money. Just keep in mind that your refillable bucket will be good throughout the duration of your cruise and only your cruise, so you can't take it to like Magic Kingdom later and expect the same refillable popcorn discount. One of the many different activities you can book before your trip is a beverage tasting seminar, which is available on all 5 ships. Now, the type of tasting seminars do vary from cruise to cruise, but you might be able to take part in a class that specializes in different spirits, such as rum, whiskey, tequila, bourbon, beer, or even a combo of chocolate and liqueur tasting too. I've also done a really fantastic champagne tasting. There are also mixology classes you can take part in where you'll be able to make your very own cocktail or multiple cocktails thanks to the bartender-led workshops. But get this, in recent months, the Disney Cruise Line has begun offering a newish beverage experience at the adults-only premium restaurant Palo. We say newish because we have seen this since late 2023, but Disney has recently shared it as new. Prima Notte is a wine tasting session that pairs high-quality wines and hand-picked bite-sized food offerings, including sliced herbed yellowfin tuna, Snake River Farm Wagyu beef, and a blood orange chocolate mousse served over a dusted chocolate disc. The event is hosted by the Palo Steakhouse sommelier, who provides information on the wine and food pairings, which remain the same at each session and across each ship. Prima Notte costs $85 per guest before gratuity and will be offered twice on the opening night of your cruise, once at 6:45 and once at 8:30. This means you're going to want to try to make those reservations as soon as possible since space is very limited. Ahoy, matey! It's time for a swashbuckling good time, swabbing the poop deck and walking the plank. What, that doesn't sound like a good time to you? Well, how about a fireworks show instead? On Pirate Night, all the festivities and fun happening on the top deck will wrap up with a literal bang as fireworks light up the night sky. Fireworks will always be scheduled later on at night so that they don't interrupt either of those rotational dining times, so expect the deck party to start somewhere after 9. Your Navigator app is going to give you those specifics, and for the fireworks to go off shortly after the Pirates shenanigans conclude. You'll also be able to see rare Disney Cruise fireworks if you decide to book a cruise during New Year's Eve. If your ship is traveling to an overseas location where your US dollars will be no good, that doesn't mean you're not going to be able to buy any snacks or souvenirs once you get off the ship. If you didn't do a currency exchange before your vacation, you can do so over at guest services once you're on board. Disney Cruise Line doesn't charge for this service, but keep in mind that exchange rates can fluctuate even while on board, so you'll want to keep an eye on those rates as you approach your cruise date. You know what books up faster than a fancy dinner? A fancy brunch. Palo is known for its high-end Italian cuisine, but this restaurant also brings its Italian flair to brunch offerings. While Palo is available to book for any night aboard every Disney cruise ship, aside from the Wish, which offers Palo Steakhouse instead, brunch is only offered on limited mornings and usually only on sea days. To find out when this classy brunch is happening during your cruise, make sure to yet again check your Navigator app for an updated dining schedule. But this is something you're going to want to book before you even get on the ship. It will sell out. Each Disney cruise ship has an adults-only pool area, the Quiet Cove, but the Disney Wish really steps theirs up a notch by offering an adults-only infinity pool area, which can get really popular during the afternoon hours. If you want to avoid feeling like human soup, try hitting up these adults-only pool areas in the early morning as a way to kickstart your day with some much-needed peace, quiet, and swim time. I love heading to the pool at like 8 o'clock a.m. when everyone else is at breakfast. There's one way grown-ups can peek inside the otherwise kids-only Oceaneer Club, and that's through open house opportunities. Open houses allow adults to see what they're missing out on, really, and what they're missing out on is this super awesome space for kids. They can go explore, create, and take on adventures side by side with their favorite Disney characters. Major parent FOMO right there. Okay, that's not the only reason for open houses. These tours also allow you to explore these spaces alongside your kids to help them feel more at ease about the whole situation. Because dropping your kid off at a place they're unfamiliar with, surrounded by people they don't know, is pretty intimidating for some, even in a Disney setting. So open houses allow kiddos to test the waters before diving in. Usually you'll find these open house times listed on your Navigator app during embarkation day, but open houses can also happen at other times during your cruise too. Just check the app's updated schedule for a list of times so you know when you can swing by. We talked a little bit about the free soft serve earlier, but there's also something to be said about the premium sundaes you can get during your cruise. Sundaes can be ordered at specialty ice cream and candy shops like Sweet on You, you'll find that on the Fantasy, Vanellope Sweets and Treats on the Disney Dream, and Joyful Sweets aboard the Disney Wish. Also Jumbo's Sweets, soon to be Zootopia themed dessert shop coming to the Disney Treasure later this year, will probably offer these as well. These sundaes can get over the top, especially if you choose to order something like the Vanellope Von Schweetz race cart sundae, which is served on this adorable race cart that looks just like Vanellope's own set of wheels out of the Wreck-It Ralph films. But if you want to brag about how awesome your sundae is, you can actually have it pre-ordered and delivered to you during your dinner that night. I did this for my mom. I ordered this giant over-the-top sundae and I had it delivered to our table that night at dinner, and I think she started to cry. So let's talk private cabanas. These cabanas on Castaway Key and Lookout Key are super popular, and for good reason. If you get a chance to purchase one, you'll have your own personal space on that island destination with private beach access, rental items at your disposal, and all-day concierge services. But unfortunately, because of the limited cabana options, these bad boys book up fast. You know how virtual queues for the new Disney rides book up? Kind of like that. So how can you increase your chances of getting a cabana rental? First off, you need to know the soonest time you're allowed to start booking extra activities. As soon as the clock strikes midnight on the day you can start booking, they'll go live for you to start choosing. If you don't get the cabana reservation you were hoping for, you can always go up to guest services on the day you board the ship to be put on a wait list. This does not guarantee you'll be able to get a cabana. Probably you won't, but it still may be your best shot at getting one. And if you're on a cruise that makes not just one but 2 stops in Castaway Key, you'll have a little bit more of a chance to get a cabana the second time around. Again, the odds can still be against you depending on your cruise status, but the double Castaway trips means double the opportunity. If you want to experience a Disney cruise spa day without paying a steep price for it, this is how it's done. Every Disney cruise ship has an adults-only Senses salon and spa where you can book one-on-one spa treatments, massages, facials, body wraps, and aromatherapy sessions. And as relaxing as these treatments are, they also cost a lot of money. And hey, you may really want to do that. Like I said, spa treatments are super relaxing. But if you're looking for a spa day that's under $40, you can get a single day pass for the Senses Spa Rainforest Room. This is still going to provide you with a rejuvenating day inside a thermal suite featuring saunas, steam rooms, and sensory experience showers. Some rainforest passes may also be available that'll give you access to the rainforest room all cruise long, but again, it all depends on the ship and the sailing. If you want to do one of those, head up to the Senses Spa on the first day, embarkation day, and purchase one of those passes. While prices for this room are subject to change, it's still a much cheaper alternative to full-on spa sessions. Want to feel like you're at a kid's birthday party or like you're on an episode of Wipeout? Does that show still air or am I behind the times? I don't know. Anyway, the Disney Wish has a giant inflatable Incredibles-inspired obstacle course that's offered during select times at the Heroes Zone gym. During this time, families will have to work together to conquer the course and prove that they're the best family of supers out there. If you've got little ones who are way too small for such a big course right now, we're talking still in diapers, then you might want to sign up your baby for a Jack Jack Diaper Dash race instead. This race is made for new and seasoned crawlers alike and is offered across all the Disney cruise ships. Just check your Navigator app to see when these incredible activities are going to be available. Many passengers don't realize that the Disney cruise ships offer walking and jogging tracks, meaning you might be able to step away from the cruising crowds to take a nice leisurely walk without a whole lot of people crowding your path. Not to mention, these jogging and walking tracks can sometimes take you past some really unique spots on the ship. For instance, on select Disney Cruise Line ships, there's a porthole along the track that actually looks into some of the ship's kitchens. So these little trails can wind up weaving past a few behind the scenes areas that you wouldn't have seen otherwise. It's very cool, one of my favorite things about the ships. With that being said, the running deck over on the Wish is awkward. Instead of having a continuous track like you do on the other 4 ships, the Wish's track is broken up, so you have to go up various stairs and crossovers to actually complete a full lap. It's like set across multiple levels of the ship. Still good to walk it, but probably not the best if you're trying to, get up your marathon time. Sleuthing, capers, and mysteries galore. If you're looking for a free activity that'll help you thoroughly explore the ship you're sailing on, the Midship Detective Agency is on the case. The Disney Dream and Fantasy both host the Midship Detective Agency, an interactive game that takes guests all around the ships to solve, a mystery. There are 3 different mystery options you can choose from involving Mickey and friends, characters from Disney's 101 Dalmatians, or the Muppets. Yay, Muppets! The Disney Wish also has its own interactive game called Disney Uncharted Adventure. Disney Uncharted Adventure uses the Play Disney Parks app and AR technology on your mobile device to play games and interact with your favorite Disney characters. Now, if you choose the Muppets route on the Midship Detective Agency, which you totally should because the Muppets are awesome, you'll have to find Pepes Cabin door as part of your detective hunt. Now, there are clues on the door that are integrated into the adventure, but if you want to find it, you're going to have to look down. He's a prawn. What did you expect? This is a tiny door. Even if you're not doing the midship game, you can still track down Pepe's door in your own time, and you should. Pepe's stateroom is located on Deck 5 for both the Disney Dream and Fantasy near the Oceaneer Lab. Now, there's no escaping that staple Disney treat. As it turns out, you can get Dole Whips on your Disney cruises too. I know, I was excited as well. On the Disney Magic, Dream, and Fantasy, Dole Whips can be picked up at Frozone Treats. On the Disney Wonder, you can get them at Sully's Sips. And on the Wish, Dole Whip is abundant at Wheezy's Freezies. Now, warning, Dole Whip is not the same on a cruise ship as it is in the parks, really. Usually it comes as part of a drink, like a cocktail or mocktail, and even on its own, it's more like a smoothie than a soft serve ice cream, depending on kind of how the machine's working that day. Oh, and if your Disney itinerary takes you through Nassau, there's a spot located just to the right of the port entrance where you can grab 9 different Dole Whip flavors in the traditional soft serve form. The cups are pretty pricey here, but you'll be able to find flavors like pineapple, orange, raspberry, strawberry, lemon, lime, cherry, watermelon, and pomegranate. And we're back onto the Disney Wish again with an exclusive offering worthy of a dastardly Neverland sea captain. Hook's Barbery is a full-service barbershop on the Disney Wish inspired by Peter Pan and Captain Hook. As far as services go, Hook's Barbery offers up haircuts, shaves, nail care, and skin care. But what makes this place really stand out from other salons you're going to find is the hidden bar that's stocked with pre-prohibition drinks like bourbons, vintage whiskey, and port-aged rum, and premium spirits. And don't worry, ladies, you can go in here too. This is not just for dudes. So before you head off, let's do something fun in the comments. Let me know which ship is your very favorite of the Disney Cruise Line fleet so you can help other future cruisers decide which ship is the one they should be choosing. Also, I'm just curious to see which ship comes out on top because they're all pretty neck and neck for me. And don't forget to pick up your free ultimate guide to the Disney Cruise Line over at disneyfoodblog.com/cruise planning. Thanks for listening, everyone, and thanks for watching. As always, this is AJ for Disney Food Blog, and we'll see you real soon.